Hey guys, it's Tom again, back here in Southern California. It is really hot out. It is going to be 115, 16, 17 degrees today. It's just about 11 o'clock right now when I'm filming this, and it's already 108 degrees outside. Yikes! So I'm feeling a little squirrely. The dogs and I went out really early this morning to get a little bit of a walk in, but still at 7:30 it was almost 100 degrees. So it's really warm. In any event, I want to do a little workout right now. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. I want to just move a little bit. So join me in the journey. We're going to throw a little bit of everything in here, maybe starting a little bit of balance work as well. So be ready for that. I'm going to start with a bolster. I'm going to start on my back with a bolster. You don't have to have a bolster. A pillow will be fine, a bed pillow, sofa cushion, chair cushion, all those work fine, or nothing, doesn't matter. What this is just doing is to help open my chest up. And since I've been a little constricted here on my left side, I want to really make sure I give myself ample opportunity in a supported environment to let my shoulders just kind of open up and let my chest expand, kind of give myself a nice good stretch. So that being said, let's get on our mats and do some workout, maybe a little yoga. Yeah, my yoga assistants are here. Hello. So I'm going to lay all the way out. Now, I've got this so that my head is actually cascading off the top of my bolster. If that's not comfortable for you, grab another bolster or shift yourself down so that your head is fully supported. Arms out to the side. Sometimes this kind of gets my lower back, so to support my lower back, I might come onto the flat part of my feet, bending my knees, just again for support. Because really what I'm doing is I'm really concentrating on that chest, opening those shoulders back, retracting them, pulling those scapula basically towards each other, which is really bringing us back into spinal neutrality, since we tend to round our shoulders forward, which internally rotates our rotator cuff, our shoulder muscles, and the result is we walk with the backs of our hands facing forward, our palms facing behind us, when in fact our thumbs should always be facing forward. So just kind of watch yourself as you stroll around the backyard these quarantine days we've got. Just kind of lying here, opening up that back, shoulders kind of supported. Just kind of breathing normal, not yogic breath yet. Just kind of giving ourselves some time to settle in here. FYI, my new favorite thing in the whole wide world, jumping rope. Going way back old school, I found a jump rope in my workout bag of tricks and my workout gear, and I haven't used it for a while, so I thought, why not? So I thought I would do maybe 500 jumps a day, and I thought, that's kind of easy to do, so I thought I would do 1,000 jumps a day. I do them outside on one of my terraces in the heat. Depending on how I'm feeling and the number of sets I'm doing, I might do 250 in a row, I might break them in blocks of 100. Just to kind of get some movement. I also have ordered a weighted jump rope, which will serve to engage more of my shoulders, my upper back. And it's just about 1.5 pounds, but it's going to matter. I think it comes next week, so I will report back to you guys on how that is doing. But meanwhile, I am on my 3rd or 4th day of 1,000 jumps a day. I've got 500 in for the day so far. I'll hit another 500 later this afternoon. Get my 1,000 in. Really great for balance and coordination. I am not coordinated, so I love practicing coordination. All right. What I want you guys to do, if you've got a bolster, you're going to slowly push yourself up. I come to my elbows, the palms of my hands, engage my core, push myself up. Take this lovely bolster or a pillow if that's what you've been using. Let's get some movement out of the way. If you didn't use a bolster, no worries, you're in the right position. You're flat on your back. Extend those arms up overhead, extend those legs, point those toes, give yourself a nice full body stretch. You can feel like you have a little slight arch in your back. You can actually take your hand and roll it under your lumbar spine, that lowest part of your spine. Let's go ahead and bend your knees and place your feet flat. So our arms out to the side. Stagger those knees hip distance. And we're going to have those knees fall in that staggered position to the right. And then you're going to look over your left shoulder. Get a nice easy twist twist, sort of start. Good movement in that mid side body area. Just hanging out. Good. Let's bring those knees back up into neutral. Gaze goes back into the ceiling. Make sure your knees are still staggered. Again, about the width of 2 fists. That's about hip distance apart. Arms staying out to the side. Now our legs in the staggered motion are going to fall to the left. And we're going to look to the right. And again, you might just feel there's a bit more flexibility on one side than the other. And you might surprise yourself. I am right-handed, so I'm right side dominant, which means my right side inadvertently compensates for a lot of the weakness in my left side. I say inadvertent because it just happens. You need to try to dial and be more aware of what those imbalances are and correct for them. But you know, and running around all day long, you don't do that. None of us really do. So I notice that on my right side, this is feeling a little bit not as stretchy as my left, even though it's my strong side. Which means my muscles are tighter, they're working to compensate for some weakness on my left. Good, so bring those knees back to neutral. And what I'm going to have you guys do is hug those knees into your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze here. Let's go ahead and roll side to side. Loosen that lower back. Now come to stillness. Let's change the direction of our roll. Let's go ahead and just roll along our spine to come seated. Boom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift into tabletop. So I'm going to shift forward into tabletop position. Again, always making sure you're keeping those knees in good alignment, knees stacked below my hips, and the joints of my arms nicely stacked one on top of the other. Palms flat, middle finger always forward. People sometimes feel more comfortable with their hands further out. I actually try to keep my hands a little further in, so underneath my shoulders, but coming in maybe an inch or so. I feel like I have more stability, a little cow and cat. So go ahead, round your back, drop your head, drop your tail. Then go ahead, release your belly, lift your head up, tail lifts up. And again, round that back, drop that head, oh, just nice and easy, and then release it, belly down, head up. And one more time. As I push away and rounding that back, my shoulder blades are protracting forward, they're squeezing forward. Good, I'm coming back to neutral, nice. Now from here I'm gonna go into child's pose. Haven't been in a child's pose in about 6 weeks, so this will be interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knees to the outside edges of my mat, bring my big toes to touch behind me, shift my hips back to my heels. If you have any kind of strain on your knees, this is a good time to maybe grab a blanket or a towel and put it under your knees. It gives you a little bit more opening there. It helps to cushion the knee, not make it so intense of a stretch. If your knees feel comfortable, please feel free to go into the full extension. This is extended child's pose, which means my arms are reaching out in front of me, my forehead's on the mat. Now I'm going to kind of direct you into our yogic breath. So go ahead, seal your lips together, and just begin a nice rhythm, an inhale and exhale through your nose. We're going to move into our Ujjayi pranayama, that nice warrior's breath, that strong, victorious breath. And in Ujjayi pranayama, our inhale and our exhale are about the same length. So just begin to settle into rhythm, into a pace. And once you establish that pace, we're going to add an element. As you exhale, you're going to constrict the muscles of the bottom of your throat. What that does is it creates a little bit of a vibration, a little bit of a humming noise as you exhale. An easy way to do that if you're a little unsure is take your chin, slightly tilt it towards your chest. We're looking for constriction right here at the base of our throat. And don't worry if you don't feel a humming noise, a vibration, a flutter as you exhale. Don't worry about that. Don't get too hung up on that. The point of this breath is to regulate our breath, which brings oxygen into our muscles, into our bloodstream, and that fuels our body. What we're trying to do is we're trying to match our movements to our fuel levels. So we're trying to actually coordinate and slow things down, even though we move through a power flow. So nice and steady breath. Now, from here we're going to inhale back into our tabletop. Check your knees, check your hands, curl your toes under, and as we exhale, we're going to shift those hips up into down dog. Down dog. Whoa. So this is a great place to get some movement going in. Pedal those legs out. Walk your dog. Bend one knee, bend the other. A lot of people like to rise up on the balls with both toes. Bend your knees. Get yourself some movement going. It's really critical here too to just let the crown of your head reach your mat. Don't support your neck. That puts too much strain on your neck. We're trying to really get a good full body stretch all along our back body, particularly those hamstrings, calves. Most of us sit around all day, so those hamstrings get very shortened. We're trying to lengthen them. So take a nice deep breath in. Look up towards your hands, and then as you exhale, you're just going to step yourself forward. For this forward fold, we're going to keep our feet hip distance apart, again about the width of 2 fists. I'm going to keep my knees a little soft and bent. I'm going to grab opposite elbows and just gently sway a little side to side. We call this forward fold ragdoll. You don't know that there is a Sanskrit name for it. Forward fold is called Uttanasana. But this is nice. Actually, I like to walk both hands the outside edge of one foot and then gently walk them back around the outside edge of the other. And this helps to kind of relieve a lot of stress, getting a good stretch in that lower back. And if you can, maybe plant your hands flat on your mat. Now, if you feel really comfortable and stable with your feet apart, keep them there. Otherwise, if you want to play around with stability, toe heel your feet together. And right here, what I've done is I've inadvertently shifted my hips back to accommodate balance. What I want to do is I want to line my hips up with my ankles. So I'm going to shift a little forward. Now, for a lot of us, it's really much easier just to have our fingertips supporting us on that mat. I'm not throwing too much weight into those fingertips, but I'm allowing my fingertips to help me support, especially as I start to stretch and open up these hamstrings. You notice my forehead's not touching my knee yet. That's the goal I want. Whether it comes in this session or maybe in a week, who knows? Maybe it'll come later today. It just depends on how your body's functioning, working, kind of loosening things up. But this is a good way to kind of feel the posture, the alignment. By shifting forward on those fingertips, you can feel those hips and those ankles lined right up. Now, having said that, I'm going to soften my knees slightly, and I'm going to inhale, and I'm going to slowly rise to standing. Now, once I get to standing, I'm going to give myself a shoulder shrug back. My palms naturally open up to the front, and I'm going to continue to raise my arms overhead. Whoa! And I'm keeping my shoulders relaxed. This is Mountain Pose Tadasana. And what I'm trying to do is trying to make sure my palms are facing each other. You can almost feel a little energy going between them. Shoulders are relaxed because we do this all day and this is just not helping us, so we're keeping those shoulders away. And I'm nice and tall. I can keep my knees soft. I'm not locking them out. The minute I start to lock those joints out, I actually start to get a little precarious and I don't serve my balance. So keep those knees slightly soft. Now take your hands, your palms especially, and put them at your lower back. We do a nice back bend, but I want to do a supported back bend to start with. This involves a lot of balance and in different planes of motion. So I'm going to take my elbows and dial them behind me. We always refer to these as grasshopper leg arms because our elbows are parallel to each other, boom, on either side of our bodies, and they're not flailing out to the side. So we're drawing them in. Now in a back bend, Anyavitasana, I'm going to inhale, lift my chin up. Now as I exhale, I'm going to press forward first, getting my support in place, then drop my head back. Nice. And then inhale, slowly rise back up. I'm going to bring my arms up overhead, shoulders again relaxed. Bringing my palms together, softening my knees slightly. I'm going to exhale, taking my thumbs, just dragging them all the way down my front body, hinging at my waist, releasing back into that forward fold. And again, here my feet are together. If your feet are apart for stability, you're already in the same spot you need to be. Now again, bend both knees nice and deep, to the point where your belly actually releases and is supported by your thighs. We're going to take our left hand, plant it right above our toes. Palm is flat. We're going to inhale that right arm up. And once I get the twist with those knees bent, then I'm going to straighten if I want. my right knee. Now for some of us, we like to throw a little bit of a deeper twist in here so you can actually do a little bit of a half a bind, opening that shoulder up to the sky. Now, slowly we're going to exhale, bring that right hand back down, softening my knees again. Now my right hand planted right above my toes. In fact, my big toes and my wrists are actually touching each other. Knees bent, and I'm going to inhale my left arm up. And then once I get into position, I'm going to decide whether it's right for me to straighten that left knee. And I did it on the first side, so I'm going to drop a little bit of a bind on the second side. And opening that shoulder up. And then exhale, softening that knee, bringing my left hand back down. Now as I inhale, I'm going to rise to a flat back, halfway lift. So here's what we're doing also. Shifting forward into our toes. I'm really gripping my mat with my toes. And as I sort of slightly rise up, and I can take my hands, I can rest them on my shins, on my knees, on my thighs. I'm trying to squeeze those shoulder blades back. I'm gazing forward, probably about 18 to 24 inches from my toes, kind of neutralizing that neck. And then I'm going to go ahead and plant my hands, step back into plank. Now from this plank, we're going to go into up dog. So we're not going to do chaturanga though. All we're going to do is drop our hips, go ahead, flatten your toes, and then lift your chin up. Now for a lot of us, lifting our chin up is not comfortable, so just keep looking ahead, straight ahead, it's perfectly fine. What we want to avoid at all costs is collapsing into this posture. In our up dog, the only points of contact we've got with our mat are the tops of our toes and the palms of our hands. Now from here, I'm going to exhale back into downward facing dog. And since I'm back in down dog, beginning of my second sun salutation, I'm going to take that time and again, pedal those legs out. I'm going to inhale, look towards my hands. Exhale, step myself forward. Inhale to that halfway lift. Exhale, back to forward fold. Inhale, rising to my mountain. So I'm going to open my arms wide. I'm going to inhale, lift my chin up. Exhale, drop into a back bend. Nice. Inhale, back to mountain. Palms together, exhale, release, back to forward fold. Again, nice and easy. Crown of the head reaching, inhale, half lift. Plant those hands, step back into plank. Drop those hips, moving into our up dog. Skipping the chaturanga for today. I'm not in the chaturanga state of mind. And then I'm going to exhale into downward facing dog. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift to the top of your mat. Exhale, step hop, float yourself up forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rising to mountain tadasana. Let's go ahead and change those arms. Gold post cactus arms. Inhale, chin lifts up. Exhale, drop into a back bend. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Plant your hands, step yourself back into your plank. And then we're going to drop those hips, lift your chin up. And exhale, down dog. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and inhale that right leg high. Exhale, you're going to step it through, plant between your palms to a deep, low lunge. Now we've got an option here. You can take that left knee, drop it onto your mat for more support if you'd like, or plant both hands on either side of that right foot. Again, a little twist. Inhale, that right arm goes up. This is a nice deep low lunge, or also called a dragon lunge. Throwing in a bit of a half a bind here as well. Beautiful. Now from here we're going to inhale into crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. I like to get into crescent lunge, make sure I've got a good firm foundation. So ideally I've got a 90-degree bend in my knee, my quad is parallel to my mat. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that my left side is really engaged. I'm going to push back against the ball of that left foot. And I'm slowly inhale, rising into my crescent lunge. Palms are going to come together. We're going to exhale, boom, hands at heart center. Inhale, lean forward, looking for some length. Exhale, left elbow crosses to the right knee. And from here, we're getting a nice, good revolve crescent lunge. And go slow. As we exhale, we're going to unravel that twist, dropping our hands flat on the mat inside that right foot. Toe heel your right foot out of the way. A lot of people here like to roll the knife edge of that foot if you'd like. Crown of your head to reach. You can actually drop that left knee if you'd like also and drop under your forearms. If you're going to keep that knee active, you're going to keep your neck neutral, which means you're gazing ahead. Beautiful. Let's inhale, bring those palms back up onto your mat. Now, as you gently rise up off that left knee, take your right foot, stepping it back into plank. Let's bring our left arm to the center, hand in the center of the mat. I like to shift forward a little bit here. I'm going to inhale into side plank, Vasisthasana. Pressing those hips up. Beautiful. Unravel, bring yourself back into plank. Plant both hands back on your mat. Your toes are curled under already. We're going to exhale into down dog. Take some time here in this down dog. Pedal it out. Move those legs around. Get things going. What my humble yogis are wondering about there. We're going to inhale that left leg high this time. We're going to exhale back into that nice deep low lunge. If you're unable to get that foot planted between your palms in one step, don't worry, do it in a couple steps, or help your foot up if you need to. As we did before, we're going to plant both hands on either side of that left foot. You want to drop that right knee. Please feel free to do so for stability. And we're going to inhale that left arm up. As I did on the first side, I did a bit of a bind there, so I'm going to continue with that. And then I'm going to exhale. And again, both hands on either side of, hello, that left foot. As we did before, I'm going to press against the ball of that back foot. This time it's the right side. I'm going to inhale, hinging up into my crescent lunge. Palms together, exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale. Now, again, as I cross my right elbow to the left knee, every time I exhale, I'm going to press my palms together, twisting a little bit deeper. Beautiful. Slowly unravel, drop your hands inside that left foot, toe heel it out of the way. Drop the left knee if it feels comfortable. This is a perfectly great place to hang out right here, or go a little deeper, surrender onto those forearms. And this is a really great stretch for our hips. Now both palms are coming back flat. And we take that right knee up off the mat. We're going to step our left foot back, and we're going to do side plank on the second side. This time, my right hand is center of the mat. Again, I'm shifting forward. The reason I shift forward is I want all these joints to be stacked right into the shoulder. A lot of times I see people coming way back here, a lot of strain on those shoulders and those elbows and those wrists. So let's make a nice big stack here and rotate on the inhale to side plank. Good. We're going to exhale back into that high plank, curl the shoulders under, exhale into down dog. Take a nice good deep breath in, look at person's hands as you exhale, step, hop, float yourself up forward. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, forward, forward. Now we're going to bend those knees nice and deep. As we inhale, sweep those arms by our side, moving into our chair, Utkatasana. Palms together, exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lean forward, exhale, twisting to the right. Now, the important thing about prayer twist is make sure that my knees stay side by side. They really like to shift back and forth. We want to avoid that at all costs, which means this needs to be stable before this twists. If you can't get a deep twist, don't worry about it. Make sure this is in good position. So I'm going to twist here, make sure my knees are side by side, and then again, I'm pressing my palms together, every exhale, twisting deeper, maybe throwing a bit of a bind in here. And then I'm going to unravel, inhale back into chair, Palms together, exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, twisting to the other side. So we're going left. And arms can open up. Arms can drop. Beautiful, release it. Let's release back into forward fold. And take a look at how much closer your forehead is getting to your knees. Good, let's separate those feet about width of our mat. My fingertips are on the mat, and I brought my hips down into a nice deep wide malasana squat, frog squat, and opening my hips up. All right, you guys have a seat on your mat. We're gonna move into crow. Now I haven't done crow in a long time, so let's see what's going on with my crow. I've talked about this a lot with crow, and there's so much going on with crow that people don't either quite understand or know where to put their mind, which is the critical part. Crow is about core. Crow is not so much about shoulder, chest, and back strength. That's part of it, but it's a very small part. It's a little bit of a balance, and what's happening is we're making a triangle. So what's happening is our head's in front, our feet are behind us. That's what's balancing the fore and aft, not the hard part, because you've got to shift yourself forward enough so that that you get those feet up to balance, but not so far that you're gonna face plant or somersault. And of course, there are butts in the air, so that's the triangle, all right? The way I like to get into crow from a modified chair. So I'm gonna bring my feet together, I'm gonna drop into a nice deep squat, rise up onto my toes, open my knees wide. Let me shift myself back a little bit. So then I'm planting my hands flat on the mat. So I'm looking to make sure, again, that my hands are about 18 inches above my feet, and my palms are sort of in line with my knees. Fingers really wide. What that does is it helps to dissipate the weight, not just dump it all into our wrists. So rising up, core is engaged right now. I'm gonna shift myself forward, and then from here, my knees are on my triceps. I'm gonna pick one foot up, so far so good. Pick the other foot up. Oops. If you fall out, just come back and join us again. I'm a little slippery. Get my core working. Beautiful. Play with some crow. Take some time, shut this off, play around with it. If crow's not your thing, or it's not your thing today, boom, you're right where you need to be. So let's join us again. So we're gonna go move ourselves back into down dog. Planting my hands, stepping back into plank, curl those toes under, I'm gonna exhale into down dog. I'm gonna inhale, look up towards my hands, exhale, step it forward. Inhale, half lift, exhale, forward fold. Bending my knees and inhaling into chair. I'm gonna make this chair a little taller than my normal chair. We're gonna move into eagle. Eagle's got an arm component, a leg component. It is a balanced posture. It's called Garudasana. So from chair, typically in chair I'm here. My hips are shifted back, my toes are actually coming off the mat. I can go into airplane arms, all kinds of stuff like that. But I'm gonna come a little taller because in this eagle I wanna be really nice and tall. I wanna actually stack the joints in my body. So in joints, my ankles, my knees, my shoulders, my throat. Take my right arm and twine it under my left. Again, if it's easier just to kind of give yourself a hug, do that. Keeping my elbows right at shoulder height, shifting my weight onto my left side, picking my right leg up, crossing it up and over. And again, I'm trying to keep my hips squared to the front of the room. Beautiful. Now slowly unravel that leg, rise up, keep your knees soft. Unravel those arms off the side like the letter T, hinging forward, whoops. Find your stability. Take those arms and angle them back like airplane wings. Beautiful. Inhale, rise back up into mountain. Palms together, release it. Back to chair. This time my left arm twines under my right. Elbows again right at shoulder height. I'm sitting lightly into my chair, moving my support leg to my right side, left leg crosses up and over. And again, I'm keeping my gaze forward. If I fall out a bit, find the balance again. Good, slowly unravel that leg. Kick your foot back, arms out to the side like the letter T. Hinging. rising back up, arms overhead into mountain, palms together, exhale, hands to heart center. Work some tree, Vrikshasana. I like to start by kicking my right foot out to the side. Then I'm creating a little bit of a kickstand here. I'm also judging how comfortable I feel in my balance right now. So if I'm feeling kind of wonky, I might just keep it here. That's perfectly fine, because this is about what's right for you in this moment. If I'm feeling pretty good, I might play around with taking the bottom of my foot and rising it up on the it's on the inside of my calf. The key here is to actually try to keep that knee open. Hips are squared. So if on the foot is better, bringing it up slightly is better. The final version would be to bring your heel up to your groin, bottom of your foot, really press against that inner thigh. And you can keep your hands at heart center. There's a perfect way to do tree, gazing forward. My recommendation for gaze in all balanced postures is try to land on something that's not moving. So in other words, I'm looking at something on my coffee table right now. It is an inanimate object, not one of the dogs. And so I can gaze at it and get my balance and my focus. If you gaze at something that's moving, like your fellow yogis in a class or your puppies running through, your eye will follow them and you will start to fall out of your balance. So right here, I can stay in this version of tree. I can slowly raise my arms up overhead, creating nice big branches, maybe do a little lotus mudra here, or just a big canopy tree. It could be a cactus. Beautiful. Arms back overhead, bring those palms together, exhale, hands to heart center, release that foot down to the ground. Shake it out a little bit. No, root down, get it, root, tree, I know, too much. Root down through that right leg, kick the left foot out. I always have a process. I always do the same things in my yoga. It just helps me follow a way to make sure that my body is doing what I need it to do, and it's telling me what it's capable of doing that moment. So if my body's saying, yeah, this is about it, then I know I'm just gonna stay here. And again, from side to side, it can be very different. So I'm feeling, okay, this is pretty good. I'm feeling a little wobbly, so it's really ground down. Maybe bring that foot to my calf, and then maybe if I'm feeling it, bring it to my upper inner thigh. Now, I'm not gonna always know how I'm doing until I try maybe a different variation of an expression. So I might bring it up to my inner thigh and go, oops, this isn't working for me today. So then I just lower it back down. So like I did before, I can just hang out here, gazing at that object that's not moving. And again, one more time, if I want to move into a different version, Joshua tree, boom, boom. I had a student who did this. It's like an airplane. This is really actually hard to do because you're totally off balance. Coming back to neutral, then going to the other side, maybe doing it behind the back, opening chest up. And again, to make it more challenging, lift that gaze up. Good, bring those palms together, exhale, hands to heart center, release that foot back down to your mat, shake it out. Nice, all right. So moving those legs around. All right, what I want to do is I want to step to the back of my mat, and then I want to take my right foot, and I want to step it forward. Now, I'm going to take my left foot, I'm going to take that foot and I'm going to angle it 45 degrees. I'm going to walk off to the side. Now, I'm going to slowly make my gaze go forward, arms out like the letter T. And then slowly, I'm going to bring my forehead down, getting a stretch. And then slowly rise back up. Nice. Now, just giving myself a little stretch here. Move into side triangle. So with my knee nice and straight and extended, arms in front, slowly tilt. So basically warrior two. Good. Inhale, rise back up. Take your front foot, shift it so it's parallel to your back foot, so your nice big straddle here. Arms out to the side, hinging at my waist. Nice forward fold. Again, letting the crown of my head reach to the mat. I can use my hands to support, step my feet a little further, get that crown closer to the floor, if not touching my mat. Your choice. Good. Extend those arms out like the letter T. Inhale, rise back up. Take that front foot, shift it to the front of the mat. Bend that front knee. Beautiful. Let's inhale to reverse warrior. And then we're going to exhale, bring those hands to the mat. Step your front foot back into that plank. And then exhale into down dog. Nice. So we're going to do a triangle on the second side, but this one we're going to get to a little differently. We're going to inhale that right leg high, exhale to that low lunge. We've been here before. Now we're going to inhale to a warrior two. So begin by take the back foot, spin it flat, rise on up, warrior two. Now, this is something that I just read in a blog and saw some videos and did a little bit of research on, and I loved it. We were so cued in warrior two that our hips are flat. Our gaze is forward, and our arms are forward, and we're bending this front knee. And we're looking for stability here, and what we've been cued to do is really open that back hip up, really press weight in the back of that trailing edge of your foot, the knife edge of your back foot. What this does, and the woman who did Donna Fari, she's an amazing yogini, and what she talks about is the SI joint. And what this does is by trying to force this back, it creates a huge amount of destabilization in our SI joint, which doesn't help us out, and destabilization in the posture. So she says, our hips are not meant to do that. And over the 5,000 years of what's happening in yoga from when it was first started, we've learned a lot scientifically that were, in methods that were not available at that time 5,000 years ago. So her point is, let this hip rotate. Don't worry about it. Let it rotate open. Look forward. You're going to be much more stable here. The SI joint's going to be nice and not compromised. Now, inhale that front knee. We're going to rise on up nice and straight. Exhale, reach forward, and then again, tilting into our side triangle. Trying to keep that front body as flat as possible. If you feel like you're really rounding forward with your shoulder, which means your hips are pushing back to the side, trying to get deep into the posture, don't. Just rise up. I want to keep as flat as possible in Trikonasana. Inhale, rise back up, arms out like the letter T. Front foot shifts, drop into a bind. Oh, open that chest up. I'm going to hinge at the hips, hiking my skirts up, lifting my chin up. Exhale, release into forward fold with the bind. Just going to slowly let those arms move away from my back. Let the crown of my head reach to the mat. I need this. Beautiful. Keep those hands bound together. Slowly inhale, rise back up. Reach those arms out like the letter T. Take your front foot, shift towards the front of the mat. Exhale back into warrior two. Inhale, go ahead and reverse the warrior. And then exhale, hands come back to that mat. Step your front foot back into your plank. Curl those toes under, exhale to down dog. If you are a Chaturanga fan and you want to throw them in, please always feel free to do so. Remember, it is your practice. Take a big inhale like the person's hands. Exhale, step yourself forward. Go ahead and have a seat on your mat. Extend those legs out in front of you nice and long. Let's do a little forward folding. We'll do a little more twisting, and then we're going to get out of here. It's a nice short practice. We're kind of just moving all parts around, moving to all these different planes of our bodies. Back bends, side bends, forward folds, rotations, all that good stuff. So get grounded, move your rockstar yoga booty out of the way. Exhale, going way deep into those hips, not just at your ribs, but go deep as possible. Cantilever forward, reach to across the street, and then pull that chin towards your chest, and just let yourself cantilever over. I'm going to be here for a while, so just settle in. You may find that your breathing is a little constricted, so just slow down your breath, sips of air. Good, rise back up. Let's do a seated twist, one of my favorite things to do. So, take my right knee, I'm going to bend it. I'm going to take my right foot, cross it over to my left. I like to take this front leg and just kick it back, so I'm going to shift off to the side, kick that foot back behind me. If you can't keep yourself flat with this, you're tilted out to one side, leave that front leg forward. My right hand is behind me as a second spine. Left elbow across the outside of my right knee, lifting my chin up, pressing against it for leverage, twisting off to the side, looking off to the side, maybe still looking forward, your choice. If I'm looking off to the side, I might look behind me, kind of getting back my range of motion. Good, and slowly begin to unravel that twist. So unraveling myself, I'm going to extend both legs again out from me nice and long. So I'm going to bend my left knee, cross my left foot over, kick my right foot back. My left arm behind me like that second spine, right elbow the outside of that left knee, rising up, giving myself that levered twist. And again, maybe then going ahead and looking behind me. Twisting and shouting. Good. Slowly begin to unravel. Now we're going to again extend those legs out in front of us nice and long. What I want to do is I want to go into that forward fold one more time, just to see if we get a little bit deeper. Chest up, arms overhead, reach forward, tuck your chin, reach beyond those toes. Nice, there we go. Good job, release it, sitting up. Good. Bend your knees, feet are flat. Extend your arms out in front of you, using a little core work, slowly drop back onto that mat. Now, middle fingers, take them and bring those heels close enough so that your middle fingers touch the back of your heels, and then shift yourself up into bridge. Which means you're pushing those hips up towards the sky. A lot of people like to do a little bit of a bind here. Take those shoulders, take them underneath your back and a little higher. And if you want to go a little bit further, bring those feet a little closer in and then rise up on the balls of your toes. Beautiful. Drop those hips all the way down. Draw those knees into your chest. Do a little side-to-side movement. Extend that left leg all the way to the mat. We're going to do a nice supine twist on your back twist. I like to do the top leg nice and straight, so I'm going to grab my big toe, extend my right leg all the way up. My right arm's out to the side. I'm going to gently have my right leg cascade, cross over my left side, shoulders staying on the mat, looking over my right shoulder. And getting a nice supine twist. Now slowly unravel that twist. Draw those knees back up into your chest. Good squeeze here. And this time, our right leg goes all the way down. If you don't do this straight leg, what you're doing is you're taking that knee, crossing it over. Again, arms on either side, shoulders on that mat, looking over to your left shoulder this time. And then take any variation that feels comfortable to you. Draw those knees back in, unravel the twist, knees are hugged out, nice and tight, roll side to side. Now, choices here. I'm going to grab my bolster again, I'm going to move back into the same posture I started in, that sort of Shavasana, corpse pose. I'm going to support it on my bolster. If you want to do it flat on your mat this time, it's your choice, whatever works best for you. But I really like those shoulders opening up, and I kind of feel like I needed it with so much immobility on my left side in the last 6 weeks. I want to kind of get it slightly opened up. I'm going to roll back. Again, I'm going to shift it so that my head's cascading off the mat. I'm going to open my feet up to a V. And just kind of hang out here. I'm just going to kind of keep my breathing slow and steady. Letting that air come in and out. Nice good rhythm, nice good pace. No more constriction. Just let it flow naturally. Keep your mind in the room. Don't worry about anything else that's going on right now. Give yourself a couple more minutes here. bolster. We're gonna get on up nice and easy, move it off to the side. So we get a little bit of room, lowering ourselves all the way back down onto our mats. Start wiggling those toes. And maybe circle those ankles around. Oh, now you're back. Now you're joining me, huh? Remember, reverse it the other direction. I'm going to jostle those knees one at a time, alternating those. Then go ahead and start wiggling my fingers, circling my wrists, going one way, reversing it, going the other, rolling my head gently side to side. I'm going to give myself a full body stretch, bringing my legs together, reaching those arms overhead, feeling that nice stretch in my core, bending my knees, feet are flat, drawing and hugging those knees back up into my chest, releasing my right arm up overhead, rolling to the right side, nice and slow, then pushing myself up to seated on my mat. Final yoga pose, seated pose, easy pose is what it's called. For a lot of us, me included, I like doing this on a block. I don't have my block, it's around the corner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my bolster. Makes a nice block substitute. I'm going to sit on it. What I notice when I'm sitting on a bolster or a block, I feel so much more balanced, in control, nice and tall. I'm not slumping forward. I'm not teetering. It's hard to sit on the ground for any length of time, especially. So it's a great option to explore. So nice and tall, shoulders are back, boom, I'm here. Hands at our center, bring those thumbs to that third eye, spot between your eyebrows. You guys, thank you so much. Again, another wonderful little mini workout. Just moving ourselves around, different combination, coming back after being off for a while. So let's explore that journey together. If you are already back at work or never stopped, boom, be safe. And maybe use this as a break at the end of your day. I know a lot of you do this for lunch, so that's kind of nice to do, just kind of jump in and running around in a practice for lunch, moving yourselves around, so that's great. So remember guys, from my heart to yours, Namaste. Join us again when you can. I'll have a number of these videos posted. I'll be getting together some yoga sculpt videos, which includes a yoga warm-up, a little bit of strength work, a core. I've been doubling up on some core workouts. And then I'm going to focus on maybe a practice where we do much more balance work. So that'll be fun as well, because balance is a key component to living a nice, long, comfortable, safe life. Whether you're 20 years old or 70 years old, balance is critical. So we'll be focusing on some balance work in the upcoming videos. If you have any kinds of questions or suggestions, you know how to get a hold of me. Just send me an email. Thanks, and I will see you guys soon.